Once upon a time, in a small community nestled among the lush hills of Jamaica, Marcus and Sophia were once the epitome of a happy couple, deeply in love and devoted to each other's happiness. They met in their youth, drawn together by a shared passion for life and a mutual desire to build a future together. Their love blossomed quickly, and before long, they were married and starting a family of their own. The union brought forth 3 beautiful children, with Maya being the eldest. Maya was a bright and spirited girl, with her mother's kindness and her father's determination. Marcus and Sophia doted on their children, showering them with love and affection. But as the years passed, Marcus began to change. He started keeping late nights, often returning home long after the children had gone to bed. At first, he would offer vague explanations, claiming he was working overtime or pursuing a business opportunity in a neighboring town. Sophia, trusting her husband implicitly, accepted his excuses without question. However, as Marcus's late nights became more frequent, Sophia grew suspicious. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, that her husband was keeping secrets from her. Their once blissful marriage began to unravel, as tension and resentment simmered beneath the surface. Frequent arguments became the norm, as Sophia demanded answers and Marcus grew increasingly defensive. Despite her pleas for honesty and transparency, Marcus remained evasive, refusing to acknowledge the growing chasm between them. Finally, one fateful night, Marcus dropped a bombshell that shattered Sophia's world. He announced that he wanted a divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and claiming that their marriage was beyond repair. Sophia was devastated, unable to comprehend how their once perfect life had unraveled so completely. She begged Marcus to reconsider, to give their marriage another chance for the sake of their children. But Marcus's mind was made up, his heart hardened by resentment and bitterness. He packed up his belongings and left town without a backward glance, leaving Sophia and the 3 children behind without a word of explanation. Heartbroken and alone, Sophia dedicated her life to raising her children, determined to shield them from the pain and betrayal of their father's abandonment. She poured all her love and energy into their upbringing, sacrificing her own happiness for the sake of their well-being. Despite the painful past with Marcus, Sophia found solace in the unconditional love of her children, and she vowed to never let them down as Marcus had done. And though the scars of betrayal would always linger, Sophia remained steadfast in her determination to create a better future for herself and her children, leaving behind the painful memories of her failed marriage with Marcus. Maya, along with her siblings, grew up in the warm embrace of their mother's love, surrounded by the echoes of their father's absence. Despite the hardships they faced, Sophia did her best to provide a stable and nurturing environment for her children, filling their days with laughter and love. The 2 younger siblings, Elijah and Jasmine, brought joy and mischief into their home, their laughter echoing through the halls as they chased each other around the house. Maya, ever the responsible older sister, took on the role of protector, watching over her siblings with fierce devotion. As the years went by, Sophia struggled to make ends meet, working tirelessly to provide for her children on her own. But when it came time for Maya to pursue her dreams of becoming a doctor, the financial burden seemed insurmountable. Despite her mother's sacrifices, Maya knew that her dream was out of reach without financial assistance. Determined to lighten the load on her mother's shoulders, Maya took on a part-time job at the local diner, balancing her studies with long hours at work. She saved every penny she could, knowing that her mother's dream for her to become a doctor depended on it. Then, a glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon, a scholarship program that offered to pay for Maya's entire medical school training, including boarding. With a newfound sense of purpose, Maya applied for the scholarship, pouring her heart and soul into the exams. When Maya received the news that she had been selected as one of the 3 recipients of the scholarship, she could hardly contain her excitement. Rushing home to share the good news with her family, she was met with tears of joy and hugs of congratulations from her siblings. As the day of Maya's departure for medical school drew near, Sophia's heart swelled with pride and trepidation. She knew that her daughter's journey would not be easy, but she also knew that Maya was destined for greatness. With tear-filled eyes and prayers on her lips, Sophia bid farewell to her daughter, promising to support her from afar as she embarked on this new chapter of her life. And as Maya waved goodbye to her family, her heart filled with determination and gratitude, knowing that she was finally on the path to making her dreams a reality. After Maya arrived at medical school, she excelled in her studies, quickly establishing herself as one of the top students in her class. Fate intervened in the form of Malik, another medical student from Maya's neighboring community. Their connection was instant, and they embarked on a relationship that would endure throughout their time in medical school. As Maya and Malik's love blossomed, they grew closer with each passing day. They supported each other through the rigors of medical school, sharing their dreams and aspirations for the future. When they finally graduated, Maya knew it was time to introduce Malik to her family. With nerves and excitement coursing through her veins, Maya brought Malik home to meet her mother and siblings. Similarly, Malik brought Maya home to meet his mother, who had heard all about Maya during their time together in medical school. Both families welcomed the new arrivals with open arms, eager to get to know the person who had captured their loved one's heart. When Maya's mother, Sophia, met Malik, she was impressed by his warmth and sincerity. She could see how much he cared for Maya and wanted nothing but the best for her. Malik's mother, Nora, also took a liking to Maya, having heard glowing reports of her from her son. As the families got to know each other, laughter and joy filled the air. Bonds were formed, and plans were made for the future. 6 months later, Maya and Malik exchanged vows in a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by their loved ones. After their marriage, Malik and Maya moved into their new home and settled into their new jobs. 2 years later, they were expecting their first child together, and the couple was excited for this new chapter in their lives. However, due to Maya's severe morning sickness, she decided to take some time off work to stay with her mother and siblings in the countryside. Her husband decided to accompany her, as he longed to see his own mother. They packed their bags and set out for their mother's homes, eager to find comfort and support during this special time. But just as their lives seemed to be falling into place, a shadowy figure from Maya's past emerged, threatening to unravel everything they had built. It was Marcus, Maya's long-absent father, who had abandoned her and her family years ago. Sophia was overcome with anger and disbelief at Marcus's sudden appearance, fearing that he had returned to cause trouble. But Marcus's intentions were far more innocent. He had simply heard about Maya and Malik's wedding and wanted to confirm the news for himself. When Malik stepped outside and came face to face with Marcus, the truth came crashing down around them. Marcus revealed that Maya and Malik were siblings, the product of his past indiscretions with Nora, Malik's mother. Maya, Malik, and their families were stunned into silence, grappling with the shocking revelation. Tears flowed freely as Marcus broke down, overwhelmed with guilt and remorse for the pain he had caused. In the midst of the chaos, Maya collapsed, overcome by the weight of the truth. She was rushed to the hospital, her world spinning out of control as she struggled to come to terms with the devastating news. After spending some time in the hospital, Maya was finally released. But instead of returning to her life with Malik, she made the difficult decision to stay back with her mother, unable to face him in the wake of the shocking revelation about their true relationship. Despite Malik's attempts to visit her in the hospital, Maya refused to see him, consumed by shame and confusion over the circumstances of their shared ancestry. She couldn't bear the thought of facing Malik, knowing that their bond was tainted by their father's indiscretions. Heartbroken and rejected, Malik returned to his town to seek solace with his mother, Nora. As he explained the truth of his relationship with Maya and the role their father had played in their lives, Nora was overcome with shock and heartbreak. Confronting Marcus, Nora demanded answers, desperate to understand how he could have deceived her for so many years. Marcus revealed the truth, that he had met Nora during his marriage to Sophia and had been carrying on a secret relationship with her for years. Unbeknownst to either woman, Maya and Malik were born within months of each other, the unwitting victims of Marcus's deceitful actions. He pleaded for forgiveness, admitting that he had been foolish and selfish in his pursuit of happiness. As Marcus recounted his tale of betrayal and regret, both Nora and Sophia were left reeling, their worlds shattered by the revelation of his true identity. They had both been deceived by the man they loved, their lives forever altered by his lies. The weight of the truth hung heavy in the air as both women struggled to come to terms with the enormity of the situation. They cried tears of confusion and pain, their hearts breaking for their children and the uncertain future that lay ahead. As they looked to their children, hurt and pained by the revelations, Nora and Sophia knew that they had to find a way to help them move past the betrayal and find a way forward. But the question of what would happen to Maya and Malik's unborn child loomed large, casting a shadow over their already fractured family. As the weeks passed and Maya's pregnancy progressed, she grappled with the shame and sadness of the situation she found herself in, carrying a child with her own biological brother. Despite the weight of their shared secret, Maya held on, eventually giving birth to a beautiful baby girl whom she named Lily. Months went by, and Maya continued to avoid Malik, seeking solace at her mother's countryside home. But as time wore on, she knew that she couldn't avoid the inevitable conversation any longer. She and Malik needed to discuss the future, whether they would move forward as brother and sister, or file for a divorce and decide the fate of their daughter, Lily. After meeting up and having a difficult conversation, Maya and Malik made the heart-wrenching decision to end their marriage. Unable to bear the shame and whispers that surrounded them, they knew it was the only way forward. With the support of their mothers and younger siblings, they found the strength to move past the pain and begin anew. Though it took time for Maya and Malik to speak to each other without feeling disgusted by the circumstances of their past, they eventually found a way to coexist for Lily's sake. They agreed to keep the truth of Lily's parentage a secret from her, wanting to protect her innocence until she was old enough to understand. As time passed, Marcus found himself alone, ostracized by the children he had once abandoned and the wife who had stood by his side. Though his children eventually forgave him, they made the difficult decision to cut all ties with him, recognizing that his presence only brought pain and turmoil into their lives. Marcus returned to the United States to continue his life, but his troubles followed him there. His third wife, upon discovering the truth of his past, divorced him, unwilling to remain married to a man capable of such deception. Despite the dissolution of their marriage, she reached out to Marcus's older children, determined to ensure that her own children knew their siblings and learned from the mistakes of their father. Through her efforts, Malik and Maya's half-siblings were able to forge connections with them, bridging the divide created by Marcus's deceit and secrecy. As the years went by, Malik remained a constant presence in Lily's life, spending time with her as often as he could without revealing the truth of their relationship. After 6 years, Malik remarried a woman named Eliza, and they went on to have 4 children together, putting the past behind them. Maya also found love again, marrying a fellow doctor named Nathan, who adopted Lily as his own child. Together, they had 2 sons, and Maya focused on her career, determined to give her children the love and stability they deserved. 18 years later, the time finally came for Lily to learn the truth of her parentage. To their surprise, Lily had already discovered the secret 3 years prior but chose to keep it to herself, allowing her parents the time to tell her in their own way. As the family gathered to share the truth, they were met with Lily's understanding and acceptance. She harbored no resentment towards her parents and understood why they had kept the truth hidden from her. As the family feasted and laughed together, Sophia and Nora watched with pride, knowing that despite the challenges they had faced, their children and grandchildren had found happiness and love. And so, the tale of Malik and Maya came to a close, their journey marked by pain, forgiveness, and ultimately, love. The lesson that can be learned from this story is a poignant reminder of the consequences of deception and secrecy. Marcus's decision to lead a double life, keeping his 2 families apart and concealing his true identity from them, only led to unforeseen pain and heartache. His actions serve as a cautionary tale, highlighting the importance of honesty and transparency in all aspects of life. In a world where connections are easily made and relationships can span continents, the truth of one's parentage should always be known before venturing into a romantic relationship. Marcus's deceitful behavior ultimately resulted in his 2 oldest children unknowingly marrying each other and bearing a child, Lily, as a result. This tragic chain of events underscores the far-reaching consequences of lies and betrayal, emphasizing the need for integrity and authenticity in our relationships. Do you think Malik and Maya divorcing was the right decision? What about Maya's decision to keep the pregnancy after finding out Malik was her brother? What would you have done if you found yourself in this situation? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this story? If so, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications to be notified each time a video is posted so you don't miss an upload. Your engagement means a lot. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.